My friends and I have been getting really into pickleball recently, and so I wanted to make a set of custom wooden pickleball paddles, because what's more intimidating than someone pulling out a set of paddles they made? I went online and spent a few minutes looking over the regulations for pickleball paddles, which were actually super lax. After that, I decided to look for some examples of paddles online to get an idea of some basic dimensions. I checked my workshop for some material and found some half-inch plywood that I thought would be great for this project. This was a dense material though, so I had to adjust some dimensions after seeing the unfortunately high weight estimate in my CAD software. I settled on a design that consisted of a layer of plywood and a grip made out of some scraps of walnut I found lying around. For the plywood section, I cut shapes using my CNC with a 1/4 inch end mill at 50 inches a minute. This was a pretty quick job and left an incredible edge finish, but I used tabs which I had to cut off with one of my chisels. After getting them cut out, I needed to get rid of the parts of the tabs that were left over. To do that, I took this set over to my belt sander and spent a few minutes sanding the tabs down. I then went over all the edges again with a hand sander to give them a slight chamfer and make it less likely that they'd get damaged. There was a Sharpie mark on one of the paddles, but it went pretty deep, so I decided to move on and spend time sanding it down later. For the rest of the grip, I'm using some 1/4 inch walnut I had lying around. I cut it down to width, then chamfered the edges with my table saw. Finally, I measured the two pieces and cut them in half to create the two grips for both paddles. To complete this project, I'm using some Type-On 3 to glue the grips to the plywood. I spread it out with a bit of scrap before pressing it together with some superglue. This creates a stronger joint faster, which allows me to take the clamps off earlier. All that's left is cleaning it up with a chisel, a file, and then my sander. Then I repeat that same process for the end of the grip. I repeated the process for a second paddle, and here's the completed set. Let me know what you thought of this project and if you have any ideas for future things I could make.